Ladies and gentlemen, if you can please stand for the ultimate Grand Supreme is Miss Ava!
Open up, Tony! I know you're in there!
Now, baby, looking good.
You said she would win, Tony, and now some other toddler won the tiara, and I owe you, what, $1 million?
It's betting. It's a risk. I never promised you anything. Calm down, you're overreacting.
Overreacting?
We can set up a payment plan.
Hey, Auntie. I think I just lost $1 million. Yeah, can you come over for a bit? Yeah, I'm gonna call you back. Hello, Math? Hey, Auntie. Hi, baby. Come here. Come sit down. Do you want to talk about it? No. But there is something else I want to talk to you about. It was expunged from my record. Auntie, what do you know about NIM? Is that where Miss Frisbee saves her little rat friends from the evil rats? No! The game of NIM. Oh, the game! Well, actually, I'm pretty good at the game of NIM. I was #1 in my university. Turns out when you've got something to prove to 1,000 men, you can get pretty good. Women can and will do anything. I entered a NIM tournament today, and the prize is $1 million. This would solve all of my problems. Can you train me? On one condition. You must carry Madame Zeronin up the mountain and sing while I drink from the river so I can get strong too. And if you don't, your family will be doomed for all of eternity. I'm just kidding, kid. I love you. I'll do anything for you. I'll see you here tomorrow. Yoo! Let's start at the very beginning. Well, that's a very good place to start. What's a game? In the mathematical sense, a game is a situation in which players make rational decisions according to defined rules in an attempt to receive some sort of payoff. Game theory is the branch of mathematics which focuses on the analysis of such games. Game theory can be divided into two main subdisciplines: classical game theory and combinatorial game theory. Classical game theory studies games in which players move, bet, or strategize simultaneously. Players of these games are most likely to depend on prediction and chance. Examples include poker or rock, paper, scissors. Combinatorial game theory, on the other hand, is the study of two-player games in which each player has complete knowledge of all aspects of the game throughout the entirety of gameplay. These games are usually played on a turn-by-turn basis and do not typically involve elements of chance. Chess is a really good example of this, as well as NIM. In an impartial game, the set of allowable moves depends only on the position of the game and not on which of the two players is moving. What positions are you talking about? The positions refer to P position and N position. P position secures a win for the previous player, and N position secures a win for the next player. We will come back to this a little bit later. Okay, now watch this.
Nim is played with 2 players and 2 piles of stones. We call the person to go first player A. Player B will follow. Player A will choose a pile and remove at least 1 stone. Player A may remove an entire pile if they want. It's just important that it's at least 1 stone and from only 1 pile. Player B will make their move next, and they will alternate until someone takes the last stone or stones. That player is the winner. This is called normal gameplay. If the player to take the last stone was the loser, that is misere form.
Where does Nim come from? Good question. Many agree that the game of Nim has origins in China and has existed since ancient times. While no concrete evidence exists of the origins, it is still played in China and goes by the name Pickup Pebbles. This game was known in Europe as early as the 16th century. It is believed that the name Nim comes from the German word Nimm with 2 M's, which means take. The name was officially coined by Charles Bouton in 1901 at Harvard University, where he also developed a complete theory. There are actually similarities between the game of Nim and the game of Mancala originating in Africa. You still with me? Oh yeah, I'm taking it all in. Okay, great. I bet you're dying to know how to win this game. What you're wondering about is called a winning strategy. A winning strategy is a strategy to play a game in which you're guaranteed to win. And this seems really self-explanatory, but it means more in the context of Nim. In our case, we want to get the Nim sum down to 0 at the end of our turn. Wait, did we go over Nim sums yet? No, I have so much to tell you. You know how the numbers we use every day are base 10? That's actually because we have 10 fingers. Well, binary is base 2. The entire base 2 numeral system is made up of zeros and ones. To convert integers to binary, start with the integer in question and divide it by 2, keeping notice of the quotient and the remainder. Then just write out the remainders in reverse order. Here's an example of such a conversion using the integer 12.
First, let's divide 12 by 2. This equals 6 and a remainder of 0. Now, we divide 6 by 2, which is 3 with a remainder of 0. 3 divided by 2 is 1 with a remainder of 1. Finally, 1 divided by 2 is 0 with a remainder of 1. We get 0, 0, 1, 1, but we need to reverse this, so 12 in binary is 1, 1, 0, 0. This is important because finding the Nim sum is finding the binary sum of the number of stones in each pile. The game is in P position if the Nim sum is 0. The game is in N position if the Nim sum is non-zero. If the game is in N position, it is always possible to get to P position, meaning if the Nim sum of the piles is non-zero, there is always a move to bring the Nim sum back to 0. If you recall, I said the winning strategy is to bring Nim sum 0 at the end of your turn.
At the tournament, you will be asked if you want to be player A or player B. Player A goes first and player B goes second. You must calculate the Nim sum before answering. You want to go first if it's non-zero and second if it is 0. But you can't let them catch you though, because it's like counting cards in Vegas. This is a lot to take in. An easier way to think about this is this. The Nim sum of 2 of the same number is 0. It's always 0. If the piles are uneven, choose player B and just remove enough stones to make the piles equal. And then when player A makes their moves, you just keep removing enough stones to always be equal. And did I mention you're not allowed to have a notebook or a calculator at the tournament? Okay, let's train! Hey, Valentine, where is this tournament tomorrow? Oh, let me check. It's at the fairgrounds. Oh no, baby, what are you doing? I know, right? The fairgrounds? Are we just like some math-inclined cattle? Did you even read this flyer? Traditional NIM, everything I've taught you is just for fun. The prize money comes with Divisor NIM. But we haven't practiced this. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Okay, this is kind of really bad, but women can and will do anything. So, come back a little bit later and I'll have a plan. I don't know if I can do it. For $1 million? Baby, you better start. This is Kismet. I love you. Hurry, come on. We got so much to do. Auntie, no, shut up. Traditional NIM is just one way to play NIM. There are so many variations, like more than 2 piles, or taking from multiple piles on a turn, or 3 players, or reverse card NIM with 3 or more players, and anytime anyone takes an odd number, the order reverses. The list goes on. And then there is Divisor NIM. Here are the rules. If one pile is larger than the other, then you must take from the larger pile. And you can only take a number that divides the number of the pile. And the person who takes the last piece wins. Now here's the weird part. Divisor NIM is limited to, at most, 16 stones per pile. So what's the winning strategy? There isn't one. What? Well, that's what everyone else thinks. You see, I did my senior project on the game of NIM, and I actually created Divisor NIM and solved it. I composed a chart of every player position for 16 stone pile NIM.
The winning strategy is quite simple with the chart. Of course, you still want to be player A if the starting position is in N position, or player B if it is in P position. On your turn, refer to the chart and make a move that will bring you to a P position on your turn.
I'm the only one with this chart. A lot of magic and a lot of brain power went into this. Nothing was ever handed to me, but I can hand this to you. Auntie, I am going to make you so proud. Can you explain to me how you made this chart, though? Okay, we're about to get technical.
For an n-pile divisor NIM game with piles x1, x2 all the way to x sub n, we will use w of x1, x2 all the way to x sub n to denote the position of the game. If w of xy equals n and x plus 1 is greater than or equal to y, then w of x plus 1y equals p. And now for our proof. Suppose for each a over 2 is less than or equal to I is less than a, we have w of ib equals p when I is odd and w of ib equals n when I is even. We proceed by induction on k. First, suppose k equals 0. If a is odd, then any proper divisor d of a is also odd and satisfies d is less than a over 2. W of a minus 1b equals p, and if a is even, then w of a minus 1b equals n as desired. If a is odd and a is greater than b, then w of ab equals p. Suppose a is odd and a is greater than b. Then the next player needs to choose a divisor d of a and move the game to a minus d b. Since a is odd, any divisor d of a is also odd. Thus, a minus d is even. Further, a over 2 is less than or equal to a minus d is less than or equal to a minus 1, so by assumption, w of a minus d b equals n. Thus, all legal moves from AB result in an n position, so w of AB equals p. On the other hand, if A is even, then the next player can bring it to A minus 1b, for which W of A minus 1b equals P. This means that W of AB equals N. Does that make sense?
Actually, yeah! Great! Let's do another montage! I'm tired of this, Grandpa! Let's do that bad! I think you're ready, baby. You lost, sweetheart?
I'm not your sweetheart, and I'm here for the tournament.
Women don't do math.
Women can and will do anything. Is he in there? Good afternoon. My name is Scooter, and I will be your officiant for the final round. Please greet your opponent.
Dwayne. Hi, sweetheart. I'm Valentin. I can't wait to play with you.
Ma'am, would you like to be player A or player B?
I would like to be player B.
In the sake of feminism, I think I should get to choose.
I don't mind.
I would like to be player A.
You may begin. What's wrong, Dwayne? I thought women couldn't do math.
You think you're so smart.
Actually, yeah. It's your turn.
Do we really need to finish this?
Oh yeah, sweetheart.
Congratulations!
Auntie, I'll meet you outside.
I am so excited I won. I appreciate everything that you've done for me. I just wish I didn't have to turn all this money over to that greasy ass bookie. Could have made my dreams come true. Who? Your bookie? Tony? You didn't hear? He died. He was skydiving naked, okay? And his thing got bitten off mid-air by a Canadian goose, and he bled out as his lifeless body slumped back to Earth. Disgusting, but he had it coming.
The money's yours.
On this